On the line from Addis Ababa. Now, following the killings of 1 Tanzanian and 6 Malawian peacekeepers in the DRC, UN peacekeeping chief Jean-Pierre Lacroix has said that attacks by armed groups now constitute a major obstacle to fighting Ebola. Mr. Lacroix said those attacks lead to more displacement of populations, which increase the risk of the Ebola virus further spreading. The conflict is interrupting activities in fighting Ebola, resulting in new cases not being identified on time. In a statement, Secretary General Antonio Guterres called on all armed groups to stop their destabilizing activities that further complicate the Ebola response.
Every attack by these groups contribute to undermine the efforts on Ebola in many different ways. First, they lead to more displacement of population, which increase the risk of the virus further spreading. Two, they involve or they result in the temporary suspension of activities on Ebola, resulting in new cases not being identified on time and the provision of treatment being delayed. We determined that more had to be done, and after careful preparation and coordination with the FRDC, we decided that we had to take proactive action in order to degrade the capacity of the ADF and therefore weaken their ability to harm the population as well as disrupt the Ebola-related efforts.
Our role is not to go and kill people, it's to compel them to lay down their arms. That's the objective, is to end their threat against the population. We are not going to finish an enemy. It's not our role. We are there to build peace. We are there to ensure that the population is protected.
Meanwhile, the UN has deployed attack helicopters to target the rebels in the DRC after the latest attack. CGTN's Ocamringa has more.
UN peacekeepers and Congolese troops have been carrying out joint operations against the Allied Democratic Forces, a Ugandan Islamist rebel group operating in eastern DRC. 7 peacekeepers from Malawi and Tanzania were killed, and 12 Congolese soldiers were killed in an offensive targeting an ADF base in Kididiwe. 10 others were injured. The DRC government has condemned the killings and expressed its condolences to the families of the peacekeepers. There are no reports of civilian casualties. The spokesperson for the UN stabilization mission in Congo says their troops captured some ADF militants.
But during the same operation, the two partners, MONUSCO and FRDC, managed to regain position and also to capture ADF elements.
The clash happened near Beni City, which has become the epicenter of the Ebola outbreak. The efforts to contain Ebola in the area have been hampered by insecurity. The UN has now deployed attack helicopters to target the rebels. The killings of the UN peacekeepers is the second biggest loss in 2 years. Last year, suspected ADF rebels killed 15 UN troops in North Kivu province. Ocamringa, CGTN, Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo.